Earth says no to Galactic Empire's entry. The sky was full of light. Strange shapes moved above the clouds. Ships larger than any human had ever built hovered silently in orbit. People across the world stopped what they were doing. Children pointed at the sky. Pilots looked up and felt a strange fear. Something new had come to their world. Something powerful. In Washington, the president called an emergency meeting. The room was full of leaders from every country. Men and women spoke quietly, trying not to panic. Outside, news channels showed the alien fleet in real time. It was impossible to ignore. Jack Collins stood among the leaders. He was a former Air Force officer. His hair was gray at the edges, but his eyes were sharp. He had faced many dangers in his life, but this was different. This was not a war he could understand. These were not humans. "Do we know what they want?" asked a young diplomat, Anna Reed. Her voice shook slightly. "Not yet," Jack said. "But they are not here for a visit." The fleet above was enormous. Ships were long, shaped like stars broken into pieces. Their surfaces shone like metal, but smoother, more perfect than anything humans had ever made. Small fighters flew around the larger ships, moving fast, almost too fast to follow. Lisa Morrow, a scientist who had studied space for decades, stepped forward. She had glasses that reflected the fleet above. "These ships are more advanced than anything we have," she said. "They could destroy our military in minutes if they wanted, but they are not attacking yet." The leaders looked at each other. Some wanted to fight immediately. Others wanted to surrender. Some just wanted to run. Ethan Brooks, a naval strategist, shook his head. "We cannot fight them directly. Our weapons are too weak. But we have to show that we are not afraid." A sudden sound came from the communication console. The alien fleet was speaking. A voice, clear and calm, filled the room. It was not human, but it was translated instantly. "People of Earth," the voice said, "we are the Arcanian Empire. We bring safety, knowledge, and order. Join us, and we will share our technology. Refuse, and we will take what is needed by force. The choice is yours." The room went silent. Everyone stared at the screen. Jack Collins stood up. He knew what had to be done. His voice was calm but strong. "We need time. We will not answer immediately. We will consider your offer, but we do not make decisions under threats." The alien voice paused. It sounded like it was thinking. "Very well," it said. "We will wait. But we are patient. We know humans are weak. You will decide." The transmission ended. The leaders breathed again. But fear remained. Outside, people were looking up. Some prayed. Some shouted. Some filmed the fleet, sharing it on the internet. Every screen in the world showed the same message. The Arcanian Empire had arrived. Jack walked to the window. The ships were huge, smaller than the moon but massive in human eyes. He thought of the first time he flew a fighter jet. He remembered the feeling of freedom, of speed, of danger. Now all that felt small compared to the fleet above. Lisa Morrow joined him. "We cannot match their power," she said, "but we can use our minds. Humans have something they do not understand yet. Adaptability, creativity. We need to prepare quietly." Jack nodded. "We have to. If we're careful, maybe we can survive. Maybe we can even show them that we are not weak." Ethan Brooks entered the room. He carried a tablet with maps and diagrams. "I have started simulations," he said. "We cannot fight them head-on, but we can hide, we can strike, unexpectedly. The Empire believes in strength, not cunning. That will be our advantage." The room filled with discussion. Military leaders argued. Scientists explained what they could build. Engineers spoke of hidden shipyards. Journalists asked questions that could not be answered. Jack stayed calm. He knew fear would spread if he lost control. Outside, children continued to point at the sky. Some were scared. Some were curious. One little boy named Benjamin looked up and whispered, "They look like stars." Big stars. In Paris, a group of scientists watched the fleet through telescopes. They had never imagined they would see this day. The ships moved with purpose. The lights blinked in patterns humans could not understand. Every movement was precise. Every action seemed planned. Back in Washington, leaders debated their response. Should they accept the Empire's offer? Could humans survive without help? Could they resist? Jack listened to everyone speak. Some were ready to surrender for safety. Some were ready to fight and die. Jack knew humans had a choice. "Let us not speak of surrender," he said finally. "Let us speak of survival. If we work together, we can survive this. And maybe, just maybe, we can show the Empire that humans are not weak, that we will not bow." The meeting ended. People left with a mix of fear and hope. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan stayed behind, planning the next steps. The world outside had not changed, but the sky was different. The Empire was waiting, and humanity had to prepare. As night fell, the fleet glowed in orbit. Lights shimmered across the oceans. Ships reflected on rivers, seas, and lakes. People around the world watched and wondered, what did the Empire want? And could humans really say no? In Tokyo, a teenager named Kevin and his sister Mia looked at the sky. "Are they going to attack us?" Mia asked. "I don't know," Kevin said. "But we can't just run. Humans have always fought for what they have. Maybe we can fight even now." In Sydney, an old retired engineer named Carl stood on his porch. "I have built machines before," he said to his wife. "Maybe it is time to build again, not for war, but for survival." Throughout the world, people began to realize something. The Empire was powerful, but humans had something no ship or weapon could destroy: courage. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan met again in a quiet room beneath Washington. They looked at the holographic display of the fleet. "They will give us time," Lisa said. "But we cannot waste it." Jack nodded. "We will prepare. We will learn. And when the time comes, we will decide what Earth will do. But we will not kneel." Ethan added, "We fight smart, not because we are stronger, but because we are human. That is our advantage." Above them, the alien fleet waited silently. The stars reflected off their surfaces. The night seemed peaceful, but everyone knew it was not. Something big was coming, something that would test every person on Earth. And for the first time in history, all of humanity felt the weight of the stars. No one knew if they were ready. But one thing was certain: Earth would not give up easily. The next days would be filled with secret planning. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders would work together. Hidden shipyards would come alive. Old bases would be reactivated. Human minds would prepare what machines could not do alone. Jack looked at the holographic map of the solar system. "We have only one chance," he said. "The Empire thinks we are weak. Let us show them they are wrong." Lisa smiled faintly. "Humans always find a way, don't they?" Jack nodded. "Yes. And this time, we will make the galaxy remember us." And so, under the glowing ships of the Arcanian Empire, humanity quietly began to prepare. The arrival was just the beginning. The choice was simple: survive or perish. But humans did not fear the stars. Humans did not bend easily. And humans were not ready to say yes. The Empire believed in order. The humans believed in freedom. And that belief would soon light the first fires of resistance. The world watched. The stars waited. And Earth said nothing. For now, the alien fleet stayed in orbit, silent and massive. Every human on Earth could see the ships at night. The lights reflected on oceans, cities, and deserts. People were afraid, but no one panicked. Not completely. Some knew that if humans acted together, they could survive. In Washington, Jack Collins, Lisa Morrow, and Ethan Brooks met in a hidden command room. The walls were lined with maps, computers, and screens showing the alien ships. The room smelled of metal and old paper. Outside, the world watched the sky, unaware of what humans were planning below. "We cannot fight them directly," Ethan said. "Our weapons will not break their shields. Our ships will not survive against theirs. But we can make them regret underestimating us."
Lisa nodded.
We have something they do not understand. Humans are unpredictable. We can adapt. We can find ways to strike that are not obvious. Jack looked at the team. We need to prepare quietly. The Empire thinks we are weak. Let's use that. We will train, we will build, and we will wait for the right moment. Across the planet, hidden shipyards began to hum with activity. Engineers like Amy Carter and Daniel Price worked day and night. They were building small, fast ships that could dodge the Empire's weapons. These ships were not perfect, but they were clever. Every design had a trick, every ship a secret. In Chicago, Amy tested engine modifications in a hangar. Smoke and sparks flew as she adjusted fuel lines. These engines will give us speed, she said to Daniel. We can move where they cannot hit us. Daniel nodded. And we can make the weapons light but fast. They may hit us if we try a normal attack, but if we strike in patterns, they will be surprised. Back in Washington, Jack and Ethan worked with pilots, men and women trained in simulators, learning how to fight against a superior force. They practiced unexpected maneuvers, sharp turns, and strange tactics that no textbook would teach. A young pilot, Ryan Morgan said, "It feels strange. The alien ships are huge, and we are small. But we can be fast. They won't expect it." Ethan smiled. Exactly. You have to use your mind, not just your guns. Humans survive when we think. That is our strength. Lisa led a team of scientists who studied the fleet. They analyzed patterns in the lights and movements. Every small detail counted. If humans could understand even a little of the Empire's strategy, they could survive. In Tokyo, a group of engineers and hackers worked to create communication systems humans could use without the Empire noticing. They built networks underground, invisible to satellites. These networks connected the shipyards, the military bases, and research stations. Meanwhile, governments of the world agreed to keep the plans secret from the public. Civilians would not know the details. Fear could spread if people thought humans were readying for war. But in secret, humanity began to move as one. In London, a retired naval commander named Peter Hall led a small fleet of old ships. They were outdated, but with new engines and weapons, they could still fight. Peter trained young sailors, teaching them skills humans had used in centuries past. He reminded them that human courage often mattered more than technology. In Sydney, Lisa's team discovered a small weakness in the alien ships. It was minor, almost impossible to exploit, but it existed. If we can target it, even by accident, we may have a chance, Lisa told Jack. Jack nodded. Then we will learn how to hit it without them knowing. We must strike when they are not expecting anything. Back in Washington, Ethan studied simulations with Jack. We cannot rely on brute force. But humans are clever. They can hide, confuse, and trick anyone. Jack smiled slightly. That is why we survive. That is why humans are different. We adapt. We do not surrender easily. As the weeks passed, hidden bases around the world became alive with activity. Old military stations in deserts, forests, and mountains were reactivated. Underground tunnels in cities became training grounds. Engineers tested weapons in secrecy. Pilots practiced maneuvers in small, hidden airfields. Children still played in parks, unaware of the preparations. Workers went to their jobs, thinking the world was calm. But beneath the surface, humans were quietly becoming ready. In Rio de Janeiro, a young mechanic named Carla built small drones. They were fast and silent, designed to spy on the alien fleet without being noticed. She tested them in the mountains, sending them into the sky. The drones returned with images, patterns, and movements of the ships. Every piece of data was valuable. In New York, a scientist named Samuel Reed studied energy patterns in the alien weapons. He tried to predict how they fired, how fast they could react, and how humans could avoid them. Every day he shared his findings with Lisa and Jack. Even journalists who were not part of the secret plan began reporting strange patterns in space. News channels showed lights and small movements above the fleet. People noticed things, but no one knew what it meant. Humanity was hiding its preparation in plain sight. Jack walked through one of the secret hangars. He saw pilots training, engineers testing engines, and scientists discussing tactics. "It is incredible," he said. "Everyone is working together. Humans do not always get along, but when it matters, we unite. That is what the Empire does not understand. They see weakness in our differences, but when we are forced to act, we act as one."
Lisa joined them!
And they will be surprised. They will not expect humans to fight like this. We may be smaller, weaker, but we are clever. That is enough. Outside, the alien ships watched silently. They did not know humans were preparing. They believed in power, in size, in strength. They did not understand the human mind, the human spirit. In Cairo, a small team of hackers built software to confuse the alien sensors. Lights were reflected, ships appeared in wrong places, and movements were masked. Every little trick made the fleet hesitate. Every small action gave humans time to plan. Jack spoke to the Global Council through a secure line. "The Empire thinks we are afraid. We are not. We are ready. Not yet for war, but ready to survive. If they strike, we will fight. And if they underestimate us, we will show them what humans can do." The Council nodded. Everyone understood. Humans were not perfect. They could not match the Empire's technology. But humans had heart, courage, and intelligence. In Los Angeles, a young pilot named Nina and her brother Lucas tested new aircraft. They flew at high speeds, dodging obstacles, practicing strange maneuvers. Nina laughed as they raced. "We are small but fast. That is our advantage." Lucas grinned.
Yes. They will never see us coming. Across the oceans, the work continued.
Engineers, scientists, pilots, soldiers, and even civilians who knew the secret plan all contributed. Every person added something to humanity's defense. Every small act made Earth stronger. Jack walked at night on a quiet street in Washington. The city lights reflected off puddles from rain. People were sleeping, unaware of the danger above. He looked up at the sky. The alien ships glowed, silent and immense. "They think we are weak," he said softly. "They do not know what humans can do." Lisa joined him. "We will not surrender. We will not beg for mercy. We will survive." Jack nodded. "And maybe one day the galaxy will remember us, not as weak, not as prey, but as humans who refuse to kneel." Ethan arrived with a tablet. Preparations continue. Shipyards, bases, and drills are all active. The Empire will not see us coming. They think they have time. That is our advantage. Weeks turned into months. Humanity worked in silence, building a hidden strength. The fleet above did not notice. They watched the planet, waiting for submission. But humans were not submitting. Humans were preparing. In secret, small teams tested weapons, engines, and drones. Pilots learned new maneuvers. Scientists found small weaknesses. Engineers built devices that could confuse the enemy. Every day, humans grew smarter, faster, and more ready. And above it all, the alien fleet glowed silently in the sky. They believed in power. They did not understand courage, intelligence, or adaptability. They did not see the fires burning quietly on Earth. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan met again in the secret command room. "The Empire thinks we are weak," Jack said. "Let us show them that humans are not so easy to control." Lisa smiled. "They will learn the hard way," Ethan added. "And when the time comes, humans will fight in a way they never expected." The world outside remained calm, unaware of the secret work below. But humans were readying themselves, not for surrender, not for fear, but for survival. And in the hearts of every person involved, a single thought burned bright. Earth belongs to humans, not to aliens, not to empires. And humans will never kneel. The alien fleet remained in orbit, massive and silent. For months, they had watched Earth. They had expected humans to surrender, to open their cities and allow imperial governors to step onto the planet. But humans had not moved. Humans had prepared, quietly. In Washington, Jack Collins stood before the Global Council again. He had not slept well. The weight of the decision rested heavily on his shoulders. Lisa Morrow and Ethan Brooks stood beside him, reviewing the final reports from engineers, scientists, and military officers. "The Empire is expecting a reply," Jack said. "We cannot wait any longer. We must speak." Lisa shook her head slightly. "We are not strong enough to fight them openly yet, but we can speak with courage. We can show them that we will not submit." Ethan nodded. "Humans have always faced danger. We have always chosen freedom over fear. This is no different." The council debated for hours. Some members argued for surrender. Others argued for bluffing, pretending to agree while continuing preparations. Jack listened to all opinions. Finally, he stood and spoke firmly. "We have a choice," he said. "We can surrender. We can beg for mercy. Or we can say what humans have always said in the face of danger. No, we will not bow. We will not give up our freedom. That is the answer." Earth says no. The room was silent. Some leaders nodded slowly. Others looked frightened. But Jack's voice carried a certainty they could not ignore. A communication team prepared the transmission. It was simple, clear, and direct. Jack's voice would speak for all of humanity. The screens flickered, showing the alien fleet above the planet. Jack began, his voice steady. "People of the Arcanian Empire, we have received your messages. We understand your offer. You promise safety, knowledge, and technology. But we do not trade freedom for security. We do not surrender. Earth chooses its own path. We say no. We will not open our skies to imperial governors. We will not kneel. Earth is free, and it will remain free." The transmission ended. The alien ships were silent. No reply came immediately. Humans held their breath. People around the world watched the skies, waiting for a response. Some were afraid. Some were proud. In London, a young scientist named Emily Watson whispered, "Did we just say no to the most powerful force in the galaxy?" Her brother Nathan smiled faintly, "Yes." And it feels good, doesn't it? In Tokyo, pilots trained quietly, practicing maneuvers they might use if the Empire struck. They knew the risk, but they were not afraid. They trusted each other, and they trusted humanity. The Empire finally replied. Their voice, calm and precise, filled every screen on the planet. "You are fools," the voice said. "You have refused the Empire's protection. You have chosen defiance. Know this, refusal will bring consequences. We do not threaten lightly. Prepare yourselves." The transmission ended. The words were meant to frighten, but humans did not flinch. They had chosen courage over fear. Jack spoke to the council. "They think words will frighten us. They do not understand. Humans do not surrender to threats. We will survive this. And when we act, we will act wisely." Lisa added, "They believe in power, not intelligence. That is our advantage. If we are careful, we can survive their first attack." Ethan studied the maps on the table. "We will not fight like they expect. We will strike where they are weakest, not strongest. We will be clever, not reckless.
And we will not give up." In New York, civilians watched the sky nervously.
Some prayed. Some filmed the lights above the city. News channels repeated the Empire's threat. But quietly, human engineers, pilots, and soldiers worked. Hidden shipyards prepared, weapons were tested, and communication networks stayed alive. A young pilot named Mia Simons looked at her brother Ryan. "Do you think we can really do it? Can humans really fight back?" Ryan smiled, tightening his flight gloves. "We have to. We always have. Humans survive because we do not give up. This is no different." In Sydney, Carla and her team finished testing small drones. They would be used to monitor the fleet. Every drone could move quickly, avoid detection, and report back patterns. "If the Empire thinks they can surprise us, they are wrong," Carla said. In Cairo, hackers created software that made humans appear in different locations, hiding the real positions of bases and fleets. Every false signal, every trick, made the Empire unsure. They believed in overwhelming power, but humans were unpredictable. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan met in the secret command room again. They will act soon, Jack said. Their patience is over. We must be ready. Every pilot, every ship, every team is important. Humans survive when we work together. Lisa added, We are not trying to destroy them yet. We are trying to survive the first blow. If we do that, we can continue. If we fail, everything is lost. The world waited. Humans everywhere watched the skies. Some whispered prayers, some spoke words of encouragement to neighbors and friends. Children looked at the stars, imagining ships larger than mountains. Jack looked at the holographic display of the alien fleet. Every ship, every formation, every movement was precise. But there were gaps. Small, nearly invisible gaps. Humans would use them. Ethan studied the simulations again. They believe in strength, in size, in firepower. We believe in speed, intelligence, and unpredictability. That is why we will survive. Lisa smiled faintly. And that is why we will show them that humans are not easy to control. In Paris, a retired engineer named Henry worked on energy weapons. He was old, but his hands were steady. If they strike, we must strike back. Not because we hate them, but because we must protect ourselves. In Rio de Janeiro, Carla's drones flew silently, reporting movements of the alien ships. Every pattern was recorded. Every light was analyzed. Humans would know the Empire before the Empire knew them. Jack walked through the hidden command room again, speaking softly. We have said no. That is our answer. We have chosen courage over fear. Now we prepare for what comes next. Lisa joined him. They may strike. They may destroy some of us. But humanity will survive. We always have, Ethan added. And if they think this is the end, they are wrong. This is only the beginning. Above Earth, the Empire's fleet waited. They believed they were patient, calm, and powerful. They did not understand humans. They did not understand courage. They did not understand determination. Jack looked at the stars beyond the fleet. They may have the power to destroy us, but they cannot destroy what we are. Humans do not surrender. Humans do not kneel. That is why we survive. In every city, town, and village, humans felt the same courage spreading quietly. Fear existed, but it was not stronger than hope. People believed in themselves, in each other, and in the future they would protect. The Empire's voice would come again. Threats would come again. But humans had made their choice. Earth had spoken. And for the first time in history, humanity had refused the most powerful force it had ever seen. Jack looked at the sky. We will not bend. We will not beg. And when the time comes, we will show the galaxy what humans can do. Lisa added, and they will remember us not as weak, but as strong.
Not as prey, but as survivors. Ethan smiled. Humans are clever, brave, and relentless.
That is our greatest weapon. Below, pilots trained, ships were tested, and scientists worked. Engineers prepared engines and weapons. The planet itself seemed alive with quiet determination. Above, the alien fleet glowed in silence. They waited, expecting submission, but humans had given a different answer. Humans had said no. The first spark of defiance was complete. The first act of courage was done, and the Empire would soon learn that humans were not easy to control. Humans were not easy to break. Humans were ready to survive. Humans were ready to fight. And humans would never kneel. The alien fleet above Earth waited, massive and silent. They had expected submission. They had expected fear. But humans had said no. Humans had refused to bend. In Washington, Jack Collins watched the fleet on a large holographic display. Small ships moved between the massive alien vessels. Pilots trained in secret hangars, engines glowing, weapons ready. Every move was precise, every action calculated. Humans had prepared quietly. Ethan Brooks studied the simulations one last time. They think they control the skies. They think nothing can stop them. But humans are fast, unpredictable, and clever. That is our advantage. Lisa Morrow added, They may have numbers and power, but they cannot see everything. They cannot know what we will do. Not yet. The first strike came quietly, almost like a shadow. Small human ships moved from hidden bases across the world. They flew fast, dodging the Empire's sensors. Their engines were loud, their weapons small but precise. Ryan Morgan, a young pilot, flew one of the fastest ships. He looked at the massive fleet above him. "They are huge," he said, "but we are faster. We can hit them where it hurts." His co-pilot, Mia Simons, nodded. "We do not fight like they expect. That is our strength." The small human ships attacked first at the Empire's supply lines. They targeted energy conduits and communication hubs. Their weapons were not strong enough to destroy the massive ships, but they caused confusion. Small explosions flickered across the fleet. The aliens were surprised. In Chicago, Amy Carter worked with engineers to test new weapons. She adjusted fuel lines and energy cores, ensuring the ships could move faster. "If they fire, we can dodge," she said. "If they attack, we can strike back." Daniel Price watched her work. "And we will. They do not expect humans to fight like this. They think we are weak. That is our advantage." The Empire fired back. Massive beams of energy shot through space, lighting up the sky. But human ships moved quickly. They dodged, turned sharply, and used strange maneuvers that the Empire could not predict.
Ethan Brooks directed the defense from the command room.
"Keep moving. Use their gaps. Do not fight head-on. Hit and vanish." Small explosions appeared across the fleet. The Empire did not understand. Their ships were massive and powerful, but they were slow to react to unpredictable movements. In Tokyo, a group of pilots led by Nina Simons performed coordinated attacks. They flew in strange patterns, confusing the alien sensors. Their weapons struck weak points in shields, causing minor damage but shaking the Empire's confidence. In Sydney, Carla's drones monitored every movement. They reported gaps, slow responses, and shield fluctuations. Engineers adjusted the human ship's positions in real time. Every small advantage was used immediately. Jack Collins watched the reports coming in. "They will not expect this," he said. "Humans do not fight like any species they know. That is why we survive." Lisa Morrow added, "We do not have to destroy them. We only need to survive and make them doubt." That is enough for now. In Rio de Janeiro, young pilot Lucas flew his ship at high speed. He dodged a massive energy beam and fired at a shield junction. The beam caused a small explosion. "Did you see that?" he shouted over the radio. "Yes," his sister Mia replied. "We are making them think twice." Across the world, humans use small, fast ships to confuse the Empire. Engineers created electronic signals to mislead their sensors. Drones flew into sensor zones, making the fleet think ships were in places they were not. In Cairo, hackers interfered with the alien communications. Messages were scrambled. Orders were delayed. The Empire could not coordinate perfectly. Humans had created small advantages everywhere. Ethan directed the battle calmly. "Do not waste your shots. Strike fast. Move faster. They are powerful, but they are not perfect. Exploit every mistake." In London, retired Naval Commander Peter Hall led a fleet of modified old ships. They moved like shadows, using small attacks to distract the Empire. Explosions appeared, making the massive ships shift their positions. Jack smiled slightly. "They thought humans would be weak. They thought fear would control us. But humans are clever, brave, and relentless. That is our strength." Galenios on the coast of Bad. And now, the Empire realized humans were not acting like any other species they had conquered. Humans were not surrendering. Humans were fighting back, not with raw power, but with intelligence, speed, and unpredictability. In New York, scientist Samuel Reed analyzed alien shields. He noticed small cycles of weakness. He relayed them to human pilots. "Hit here! Strike now!" he said. The pilots adjusted instantly. Small hits created minor cracks in shields. The Empire tried to repair them, but the attacks kept coming. Every movement, every small strike, caused confusion. In Paris, Henry, The retired engineer fired energy weapons at key points in the alien fleet. The massive ships shook slightly, creating hesitation. Even small damage mattered. Humans were proving they could challenge the Empire's confidence. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan watched the battle unfold. Every small success gave humans hope. Every clever move reminded them why they had refused submission. Humans could survive, even against overwhelming power. In Los Angeles, young pilot Ryan dodged a massive blast. "We are fast, unpredictable," he said. "They cannot hit us easily. They will never understand humans fully." His co-pilot Mia laughed. "Yes!" "That is exactly why we survive." The battle continued. Explosions dotted the alien fleet. Humans avoided large confrontations. They moved unpredictably, hitting weak points, then vanishing before the Empire could react. Jack spoke to the pilots over secure channels. "Remember, we fight smart. Use speed, use strategy, not just weapons. Stay alive. That is victory today." Lisa added, "Do not underestimate them, but do not fear them. They are powerful, but humans are unpredictable. That is our weapon." In Tokyo, Nina and Lucas performed a daring maneuver. They flew between two massive ships unseen, striking at an energy junction. The ships shook violently. The Empire realized humans could not be ignored. Ethan directed the human defense calmly. "Move in patterns they cannot follow. Strike quickly. Do not stop. Make them question every move. Humans do not fight like anyone else." Across the world, engineers, pilots, and scientists worked together perfectly. Every small ship, every drone, every signal played a part. Humans had turned weakness into strength, small numbers into unpredictability. The alien fleet fired massive beams, but humans dodged, moved, and struck back. Small explosions spread across the massive vessels. Humans did not have the power to destroy the fleet, but they created confusion, hesitation, and doubt. Jack smiled at the display. They expected surrender. They expected fear. But humans fight with intelligence, courage, and unity. That is why we survive. Lisa nodded. They will not forget this. The first battle may be small, but it shows what humans are capable of.
Ethan added, "Humans do not fight like the Empire expects. That is our advantage."
And we will use it. The battle slowed as night fell. Human ships returned to hidden bases. They were not victorious in terms of destruction, but they had survived. They had surprised the Empire. They had shown that humans would not kneel. Across the planet, people watched the sky. Some saw small flashes of explosions. Some did not understand what happened. But humans had learned something important. They could fight back, even against a far stronger force. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan met in the command room. "We survived," Jack said. "Not because we are stronger, but because we are human. Clever, brave, and unpredictable." Lisa added, "And the Empire will remember this. They will know humans are not easy to control."
Ethan smiled. "This is only the beginning."
But humans have made their first mark. Above Earth, the alien fleet glowed silently. They had underestimated humans. They had expected submission, fear, and weakness. Instead, they found courage, intelligence, and resilience. In every city, town, and base, humans celebrated quietly. They were alive. They had fought smart. They had survived the first strike. Jack looked at the stars beyond the fleet. "They will come again," he said. "But humans are ready. We fight not with power alone, but with our minds. That is why we survive." Lisa added, "We are human. We never surrender. We never kneel. That is our greatest weapon." Ethan nodded. "And when they strike next, they will find that humans are even more prepared." Across Earth, humanity worked quietly. Engineers repaired ships, pilots trained, scientists analyzed patterns. Every small action prepared humans for the next challenge. And in every heart the same thought burned bright. Earth belongs to humans. And humans will never kneel. The Empire had learned a lesson. Humans were not weak. Humans were clever, fast, and unpredictable. Humans fought back. And humans would continue to fight, no matter the cost. The alien fleet hovered above Earth, massive and glowing in the sky. For months they had expected humans to surrender. They had expected fear and submission. But humans had fought back. Humans had survived the first strike. Humans had shown they would not kneel. In Washington, Jack Collins stood before the Global Council again. His eyes were tired, but determined. He had not slept well for months, but the weight of responsibility had sharpened his mind.
"They are retreating," Ethan Brooks said, pointing at the holographic display.
"Their ships are pulling back. They will not risk another engagement right now." Lisa Morrow nodded. They expected us to be weak. They did not understand humans. They do not understand courage, intelligence, or determination. They will remember this day. The council was quiet. Relief mixed with pride filled the room. Humanity had survived not because they were stronger, but because they were clever, united, and brave. Jack turned to address the council. "We have survived the first attack. That is victory. But the fight is not over. We must remain vigilant. The Empire may return. But we have sent a message they will not forget." Across the world, people celebrated quietly. Pilots returned to hangars, engineers repaired ships, and scientists analyzed data. Every small action had contributed to humanity's survival. In Sydney, young pilot Mia Simons laughed with her brother Ryan. "We did it! We survived the first battle!" Lucas, another pilot, grinned. "And we made them think twice. They expected humans to be easy prey. They were wrong." Carla, who had controlled the drones monitoring the fleet, smiled.
"We have proven that humans are clever."
"That is our strength. That is why we survive." Above Earth, the alien fleet glowed silently. They had underestimated humans. They had expected weakness. Instead, they had faced strategy, courage, and determination. They had lost ships. They had lost confidence. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan met again in the secret command room. "They will return," Jack said. "But now we know our strength. Humans fight smart. We use speed, intelligence, and unpredictability. That is why we survived." Lisa added, "And we have shown the galaxy that humans do not surrender. That is a message worth sending." Ethan nodded. "We must make our message clear, not to threaten, but to announce that humans are awake. That Earth belongs to humans, and we will defend it." Jack prepared a communication to the galaxy. It was not a threat, but a statement. Humanity had survived the Empire's arrival. Humanity had shown courage, and now the world would speak. The message was sent, clear and strong. Jack's voice filled every channel. "To the galaxy," he said. "Earth has faced the most powerful empire it has ever known. We have refused submission. We have survived their attack. We fight not for conquest, but for freedom. Earth belongs to humans. We will not kneel. We will not surrender. We are awake and we are ready." The message traveled beyond the solar system, into the stars. It reached planets and civilizations far away. Some listened and were inspired. Some listened and took note. Humanity had announced itself to the galaxy. In Tokyo, Nina Simons looked at the sky. "Do you think anyone will hear it?" she asked her brother Lucas. "They will," Lucas replied. "They will know humans are not weak. They will know Earth belongs to us." Across the world, scientists, pilots, engineers, and civilians worked together to repair and improve. Hidden shipyards became stronger. Communication networks became more secure. Every small action prepared humans for the future. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan watched the holographic display of the alien fleet. It was retreating, slowly damaged and confused. They had underestimated humans. They had thought victory would be easy. They had learned something important. Humans fight in ways no one expects, Ethan said. They will think twice before returning. They will plan differently, and we will be ready. Lisa nodded. Humans have survived because we are adaptable, because we are intelligent, Because we never give up. That is our greatest weapon. Jack looked out the window at the night sky. The stars shone brightly above the retreating fleet. They may return, he said softly, but humanity has made its mark. We have survived, and now the galaxy knows we exist. In Cairo, Carla smiled as she watched drones return. We survived, she whispered. Humans are stronger than anyone thought. In Paris, Henry the retired engineer repaired energy weapons. We have shown courage. That is why we endure. That is why humans survive. In Chicago, Amy Carter adjusted engines on the fast human ships. We will be faster next time. We will be smarter. They will never underestimate humans again. In London, Peter Hall trained young sailors. This is not the end, but we have shown them the human spirit. That is stronger than any fleet. Jack spoke to the Global Council again. Earth has survived. Humans have survived. We have shown courage, intelligence, and determination, but we must not forget the work ahead. The Empire may return. The galaxy is watching. Humanity must be ready for whatever comes next. Lisa added, and humanity will be ready. We have survived, we have learned, and we have grown stronger. Ethan smiled. Humans never surrender. Humans never kneel, and humans will survive. Across the world, people looked at the sky. Children pointed at stars, dreaming of the future. Pilots prepared for new missions. Engineers designed new ships. Scientists studied alien technology. Humanity had survived the first challenge, and now they were ready to face the future. The Empire had learned a lesson. Humans were clever, brave, and unpredictable. Humans fought back, not with size or raw power, but with intelligence, courage, and unity. Jack, Lisa, and Ethan met one last time that night. The first battle is over, Jack said, but the war for survival continues. We have made the galaxy notice us. That is victory. Lisa nodded, and the message is clear. Earth belongs to humans. We fight for freedom, and we will never kneel. Ethan added, we survive not because we are stronger, but because we are human. That is our greatest strength. Above Earth, the alien fleet slowly moved away. They had underestimated humans. They had learned that victory would not come easily. They would return. But humans were ready. Jack looked at the sky and spoke softly. Earth stands. Humans stand. And the galaxy will remember that humans do not kneel. In every city, town, and hidden base, humans worked quietly. Ships were repaired, engines were tested, drones flew, and communications were secured. Humanity was ready, not because they feared nothing, but because they would not surrender. Above, the stars shone bright. The alien fleet was distant, but humanity's spirit shone brighter. The first act of defiance had been completed. The galaxy had heard the message, humans exist, humans are strong, and humans will never bow. Jack turned to Lisa and Ethan. This is only the beginning. But humans have shown their power. Not in weapons alone, but in courage, intelligence, and unity. That is why we survive. Lisa smiled. We have survived the impossible, and we will continue to survive. Ethan added, humanity will grow stronger. The galaxy will know us. And we will defend Earth no matter what comes next.
Across the planet, people looked at the sky.
The fleet was gone, but the memory remained. Humanity had survived. Humanity had fought back, and humanity had sent a message that could never be forgotten. Humans had shown that they were clever, brave, and relentless. Humans had shown that Earth belonged to them, and humans would never kneel. The stars above Earth were quiet now, but the galaxy would remember. The Empire would remember. All who watched the solar system would remember that humans existed, and humans fought for freedom. And from that day on, humanity would continue to grow, learn, and survive. Because humans do not kneel. Because humans never surrender. Because humans are unstoppable when they fight for their home. Earth had said no, and the galaxy had listened.